fact that there was that kind of discord is not the kind of violence that would permit the court to allow that to be presented, especially in a case of this nature.
This is Judge Randolph. Objection, goddammit.
There's no contemporaneous documentation. Again, this was something that was prepared in affidavits for purposes of court. Ms. Almeida testified in support of the motion for restraining order. I think it's important also to realize that to the extent that there has to be reference to the fact that there was an ongoing dissolution.
Bobo.
Welcome to the party, Bob.
Ms. Almeida was part of
Hello.
How y'all doing?
Good.
The old boy's back at it, arguing more. He likes to argue. He's a real arguer, this guy.
Did you see the evidence though today? It looked like they had a little bit more with the blood splatter everywhere over that car. Did you see?
No, man. I've been bouncing around all over, making rounds with the Huerman shit and all the stuff. And then I had to go record a couple of commercials for the pod, so had to go make the bacon. You know what I mean?
So there was blood spatter found all over the undercarriage of the Range Rover that was in the garage, and we spent a large portion of the afternoon session establishing that there were no cheeseburgers and radishes anywhere in the garage, Bob.
Oh no! It was a radish-free and cheeseburger-free. So everybody remembers when we were, sitting through the trial on Friday. That was kind of his thing. His whole argument was, look, we don't want to show all these photographs because we'll get false positive readings from the UV light. And it sounds like. So did they? How much of it was blood? Did they say?
Suggesting it is relevant to.
I think they were saying it was all
of it. Yeah.
All of it.
2 years later.
Yeah. Somebody pointed out that we'll hear. I guess what they're arguing right now is motions that they filed pre-motion, but the judge waited till this moment to listen to arguments. The next person up anticipated is Lauren Almeida, the nanny. She's critical to this case, and they're arguing whether she can testify, from my understanding.
What would be the
whether she can testify or what she can testify on?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I can't see any reason why they'd be able to stop her from testifying. I mean, limiting her testimony is something different, though.
We saw a moment where the woman from the DA, she got really snippy with her witness and said, were there any cheeseburgers around the car, sir? Were there any radishes on the undercarriage? Was there turmeric? She got really snippy, and that was fun.
So that was that whole list that my boy Travis was putting up in the chat the other day. Yeah, I mean, the guy knows. The guy knows. So has it been a little faster paced today? A little bit?
Picked up this afternoon, I'd say.
Good.
Yeah, it's a lot less nitpicky than it was Friday.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. Like when they start to put on substantive witnesses that aren't cops trying to get evidence into evidence, it speeds up, definitely.
Just want to do some. First of all, welcome to everyone from Defense Diaries channel. We are streaming triple trace today.
Cool,
so we're going to Bob's channel. We're going to Jay's channel. We're going to the Nerdbird Mafia channel. We're going everywhere. I noticed something really cool. I'm a tech guy, and I love playing around. So, Bob, you can see today we've added chat into the window, so people can walk away and have this up on the TV and still feel like they're engaged. But Bob has a QR code on his background, and if you point your freaking camera at that thing, I don't even need to put the link tree up on the screen, because if you point your freaking Android or iPhone at his QR code, it's going to open up his LinkedIn link, guys. Guys, freaking brilliant. Yeah. Nice. So I tried it out before I told you about it. So it goes everywhere. So the only thing you need to do for Bob, you can point your camera at that. It'll open up his link tree. And that will then show you every single social media platform that Bob is on, including his podcast.
Awesome. Thanks, Nerdy. So did you guys hear the news? I mean, we kind of knew because that indictment had slipped out on Huerman, so they were able to put Marine on him. So that's great. And that they dropped that, another bail letter, which they call a bail application with even more detailed stuff. You guys seen that thing yet?
No, I'm waiting to look at later, man. I mean, the first one was so detailed. I can't imagine how much this is.
It says
be.
more.
Oh, we had a question for you. Our ADHD question, right? Real quick. Why second degree versus the other three?
The way they explained it in New York, it's a timing issue because of the length of time in between the homicides, which is why. So they weren't close in time enough, or Marine's death wasn't close in time enough to the other three, so they weren't able to go for the first degree. That's I hadn't heard that is not a thing in Illinois. Apparently, it is a thing in New York, though. So Brooklyn, the bail app, the easiest way to explain it's what would be, because he was indicted by a grand jury, so they didn't go in and get an arrest warrant. So that would be in place of a probable cause affidavit. So when you look at it, it reads exactly like a probable cause affidavit. It's got all the details that you'd expect to see in a probable cause affidavit. They just call it's basically for them to say, look, you can't give the ogre bond because he's an ogre. He's a murdering ogre. No bond for you. No bond for you.
And I was reading off your tweet earlier, there's hair found on this victim.
Yeah, a lot of Asa's hair, but on actually it was Asa's hair they found on her, but they've done the nuclear testing at this point, because originally when on the first three arrests they had him on the mitochondrial, which is not as powerful as the nuclear. So the nuclear is pretty intense. I mean, that's the one where you get those numbers if you're the prosecutor that you want, like 1 in 7 billion. Like it can only be that person, basically. So it's pretty powerful. But again, on Marines, they found I believe it was one of Asa's hairs. And you start to think about Asa, but what you realize is that because they also found one of his daughter's hairs, so which helps Asa in terms of showing that the transfer of the hair is relatively easy. But more likely than not, these homicides all took place in his house, I would imagine, while they were gone. Because that was the other thing. The family was gone to Atlantic City when Marine was killed,
which occurred on a regular basis. So I'm not suggesting.
Interesting. We had Adam Montgomery in New Hampshire who apparently refused to show up for his hearing.
Super turd.
Yeah. Turd. What did they do when I mean, they're going to force him in for the next one, right?
I mean, in terms of, as long as they know he's in custody, they're not as stringent upon him not leaving his cell and coming, and frankly, if he wants to be an idiot, they can try him in absentia, which means without him, he can sit his ass in his jail cell and they'll still try him. I mean, it would not be in his best interest, but in terms of court appearances, like they really care about you appearing if you're out, because then they're concerned with, flight risk and that you've absconded from the state and you've left. When you're in custody, they're not as concerned about it. And frankly, it's easier because the judge doesn't have to wait for the transport to get over there. If they're running late, if he's going to waive his appearance and he's in custody, judge will have zero problem with it.
But we had a stupid question segment. Right?
They're trying to sever the charges. So they're trying to sever the assault charges where he's punching his beautiful little girl in the face. From the murder charges. He wants those tried separately. That was the purpose of the hearing today. The judge took it under advisement.
Yeah, Eva explained that part to us. What's the reason? What would be the reason for separating out of the cases? If they miss on one and they hit on another, just more time added to what he already had?
Yeah, I mean, the argument from the defense is that they have no proof that these two things are related to one another. We basically know for a fact So like I've got no problem deeming Adam Montgomery a straight up turd as opposed to an alleged turd, because we know that he punched his daughter in the face multiple times. We know that. So the assault to me is in stone. What the argument is that to piggyback that assault charge to the murder charge is way more prejudicial than it is probative, because they have no proof as to when exactly Harmony died. You see what I'm saying? So that's the argument. That's the argument. I mean, the judge didn't deny it offhand, from the bench. So the judge took it under advisement. I don't think that they'll sever the charges.
I don't know if you were on Twitter at that time and we were friends, but I did a Twitter Spaces with Kevin Montgomery, Adam's uncle, and same stance that you have, hearing what that little girl endured. Yeah, if Massachusetts or New Hampshire believed in the death penalty, he would.
Dude,
I would say go for it.
Not before, like, I'd like to get the chance to reciprocate with Adam Montgomery. I'd like to meet him. He's another guy I'd like to meet in a dark alley and see if he wants to pick on somebody his own size. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I'm serious too. Like I got.
You don't have to tell me. Even I have spoken about getting arrested in New Hampshire for a misdemeanor, so I could go inside the jail. Like when it was going down back 2 years ago, there was so much anger because it's a story about addiction, but that's not normal addiction behavior. That's just a snake. That's someone who really is only looked out for his best interest. Eva has read through Kayla Montgomery's testimony, and that poor little girl, so many failures from the state to law enforcement, but really at the end of the day, Adam Montgomery was responsible for that little girl, and what she went through. We heard stories about her sitting in corners peeing herself after she was beaten. I had to leave the Spaces. I was crying by the time I got off there because it was just very hard listening to what that little girl did.
It's too much, dude. Like I can't, like, if I accidentally like bump Scarlett in a way that she's like, ouch, I like feel horrible. The concept of punching your kid at the face, like in the face, is so repugnant to me. I can't even begin to like contemplate it, man. It's like, just some people are not human. I mean, is basically what it boils down to. It's disgusting.
And then what we tuned in and started the day with Alex Murdaugh. You want to give us a brief summary of what's going on here? Why the attorneys continue arguing about Lauren Almeida, the nanny?
Here,
Alex Murdaugh had a some kind of status hearing this morning. He was back in court?
Yeah, he was back in court. I have no clue what happened with that. Like I was jumping on I was following. I was really on Huerman. I jumped on with Joey Jackalone, our boy, for a little bit towards the end of that. And then, so I have no clue what's going on with Murdaugh. Anybody in the stream know what's up with Murdaugh? What happened there?
We saw him in court. I don't know. I know that I've been barely skimming through because I'm not interested in that anymore. I mean, we knew there were violations.
Did he at least have a shirt on? That's all I just want to make
sure. Oh, I have video actually. Hang tight. I have video of him coming into court today. Hold on.
From what I heard, the judge made it very limited in what they can ask. It's not going to be like a wild goose chase with the jurors. And from what I'm seeing on Twitter, it's much more difficult for him to get a retrial based on what the judge ruled on. Like they can't talk to the alternates. One of them was the egg juror. Can't talk to him. Can only they specifically said this is not going to be like a fishing expedition. And it seems like from what I've seen, it's going to be much harder for him to get a retrial.
So there was some limiting. It wasn't.
No, it's not. It's Judge Toll is the new judge. It's not Newman.
Maybe some of this with a cautionary instruction might be admissible, but it's not only so remote as to Mr. Dulos.
He almost fell. You saw that?
That would have been awesome.
I'm gonna have to replay that.
Laughed. Just been laughing.
We're not even in the parking lot. We're down the street by the highway exit. And
so Nancy Moon Rush says only the sitting jurors and Becky Hill, very limited. Thanks, Nancy.
Therefore, it is so highly.
Look at that big clunky ginger.
Oh, what a guy! What a turd!
I'm not shy.
Just a massive redheaded turd.
Old ginger nips.
Old ginger nips. I was so violently ill when those pictures were making their way through the interwebs, man. I don't know. Like, I feel
I
like
was
Jay
too, and
posted-
Nerdy
you
kept
post those,
posting
Jay?
them.
I didn't post them. I didn't post them.
I continuously. For Christmas, I put the Santa hat on him with his shirt off. I just
Oh man,
pasted that bad boy on there.
Oh,
I want to say thank you to Hello Spring for a $20 super chat. That's really appreciated again.
They're
Not
awesome.
needed, but appreciate it. Thank you for looking out. Yeah. Everyone tuning in, please give your respective content creator some love. If it's Steve Ed's Diaries, hit his channel, hit that like button. And then I want you to go over to Jay's channel, hit the like button, go to our channel, hit the like button. Everyone should be getting some love here for taking some time out of their day and joining this trial and giving you guys feedback. It's great to have some legal analysis. It's been great to have Jay here joining us, Eva. Please hit like, subscribe. We appreciate all the love today. Thank you, Kim.
Yeah, absolutely, folks. And everyone from our channel, if you're not subscribed, you probably already subscribed to Bob, but if you're not to Nerdy, make sure you're getting in there and subscribing.
exactly. I echo both gentlemen.
2, 3, or 4. He just said, this is all what we're going to bring in. I'm not going to suggest which one.
Michelle,
Get into that.
I think there's like a decent chance that they're going to let the lawyer out, which is ridiculous. But I mean, it's such a move, like there's no, the problem with the move is like you've got his attorney filed the motion to withdraw and you had the state not objecting. The reality is that's nice. That's well and good that the state's not objecting. The judge can still deny the motion. However, and if the judge is looking at, how long it will take a new attorney to prepare for that case, man, I don't know. I hope it gets denied, to be honest with you. It's time for that guy to go to trial. He's trying to make it past the end of days, March, Like, we just get it past March. They're searching. They're searching. They're searching. They're searching. What a knucklehead that guy is.
Comments, counsel, either for.
I thought about doing a stream where you guys link it up to yours. Like, so if it was scheduled for 10 a.m., I've thought about waking up at 3 a.m. and just hijacking your channels. Because once it's scheduled, I can.
I'm here for it. Just make sure they subscribe to my channel. That's the thing. We
So
always
you wake up with way more subscribers. You never know.
We need subs. We always, Jay and I are in a neck and neck race for subs. Jay's made a lot of headway in the last 3 weeks, just crushing the videos, man, which are awesome.
Videos, man. Thank you.
Dude, they're so good though.
Thank you.
Even though we have to have a live where I dispute your videos in terms
Where
of
I convinced you that Wendy's going down.
dude, it's like if they could arrest her, I think that you're right. I think she could go down. Like, my whole thing is I don't know if they have enough.
So they don't have enough to arrest her.
I don't know. I mean, all your stuff is super compelling, man. I mean, we all know she has something to do with it. All of us, it's like that thing where sometimes people get away with things because they just can't get the evidence, because ultimately that's all that matters.
This is Jennifer Coffin Death. If I could just
Bob, it's coughing down.
weigh in here. Hello.
Is that what she sounds
I hate
like?
it.
It's terrible.
No, I need a different. That's like Kathy Griffin. I used the AI to replicate Kathy Griffin. I need a better voice to replicate
It
or
was like, it's kind of had that kind of voice going on.
Jay,
But Bob,
this is
Galen,
Brad
thanks.
Randolph.
Thanks for the
Did you
thanks
fall
for the
asleep
love.
on
We had a
us?
blast doing that. Man, I sucked Allison away from that post-conviction relief act petition that she's panicking trying to finish right now. That woman is a champion. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. If that was me, I would have been like, "You're fucking kidding me? I'm like killing myself trying to finish." Like, she was like, "All right." She's the best, dude. Best.
And yet, because the defense attorney says that something's testimonial, doesn't make it so. They have not cited a single case.
Our mod's coming in to remind us. Irina tries to put it politically. She's like, "What are we talking about?" Basically, she's saying, "We're watching a fucking trial here."
Pipe down, Mata.
Thank you to the mods for being here today from all three sides, guys.
couldn't do this without the mods. Thank you guys so much.
Dude, they're everything.
Definitely.
They really are.
Court is going to scan a few items using a grocery store analogy.
Yeah, Irina, the lawyers are arguing now against the nanny, Lauren Almeida, over whether or not she can testify or what she can testify to, something along those lines.
At least one.
I can't see her not being allowed to testify, period. Like she's key in this case. She's the one that reported Jennifer missing, but I don't know what they're nitpicking about not letting her testify.
No, it's got to be not letting her testify to certain things. I can't see a world in which a lay witness isn't allowed to testify. Like it has to be that they're trying to limit what she can say.
Well, the court is going to credit the jury with being able to pay attention beyond many hours of video evidence. So the fact that some evidence may hang for a while before being picked up is not a reason for this court to believe that this jury cannot tie up evidence when it is time for them to deliberate. Secondly, there is a discussion between testimonial and non-testimonial hearsay. So the court has to hearken to Crawford v. Washington. If the testimony is if the evidence is non-testimonial, then the rules of evidence would apply. If the evidence is testimonial, then that evidence cannot run afoul of the defense's right under the Sixth Amendment. But we leave that discussion there. It was stated by the defense that this court would have to relitigate the family matter, the dissolution matter. This court in no way litigates the dissolution matter. The dissolution matter involves testimony and rulings concerning alimony, pendente lite and post-judgment, child support, pendente lite, custody, pendente lite, and after dissolution, visitation, health insurance costs, educational costs, exclusive use and possession of the marital home, pendente lite, and post-judgment. This court is not litigating the family matter. So that premise is without merit. Under our rules, prior bad acts may not be admissible to prove bad character, criminal tendencies, or proclivity. However, prior bad acts may be admitted for other purposes such as motive, malice, intent, identity, knowledge, absence of mistake or accident, a system of criminal activity, common scheme or plan, evidence that will help corroborate crucial prosecution testimony, or to prove an element of the offense. Nevertheless, if prior bad acts are admitted, the probative value has to outweigh the danger of unfair prejudice. So the court cannot remember the court will refer to it as the grocery list of statements from the next witness. However, the court cannot at this point determine where those groceries will go until it hears more from the witness. In this case, as the court has stated before in discussions with counsel,
I really like this judge a lot.
I love him.
He's great.
Here's the exception.
We were all saying the same earlier, Bob, this judge has thick alligator skin. Does not take no bullshit.
Consume every thought that the declarant had and make it available to the jury.
But he articulates his reasoning on certain rulings so beautifully that the appellate court must love him.
The then existing.
I was trying to say that in a way earlier where I feel like I'm in a 101 law class, and where but he's not. And I said this to the folks. He's not explaining to us. He's explaining this kindly and gently to the DA, who seems like they're noobs. The defense, who also seem like he may be a noob. I don't know. We don't know enough, right? We've only watched 3 days, but he seems to be very patient in guiding them and teaching them, which is great to see.
It is. And he's just perfecting the appellate record as to, because remember, anytime like when this woman most likely gets convicted, she's going to appeal. And all the appellate court has to go by is the record. So when you have a judge like this, it's laying it out, it's wonderful. He's got such a great temperament too. He's just a great judge.
Yeah, I was gonna say on top of all of that, the way he says everything, he's just like cool as a cucumber. He got his hands folded up there, and then his little bow tie. I love it.
He was my grandfather. I could hang out with him all the time. I'd like to go fishing with him out on a boat, like just hang with him.
He's probably the coolest grandpa. Yeah,
without a doubt.
And motive. However, everything that is said does not go to malice and motive as expressed from what the court understood the state plans to elicit. So the court will be keen to.
Keen. What a great word.
If it appears, even if it does not appear, that simply everything Jennifer Dulos said to her housekeeper is coming into evidence. That is not the court's understanding of the state of mind exception to the hearsay rule.
Man, this guy's good.
So the court is going to allow testimony of marital discord. However,
there we go.
The fact that marital discord in this court's view is not exceedingly probative.
Interesting.
It's whether or not the statements by Jennifer Dulos go to motive to murder, her fear, her anxiety, her terror. Not simply whether she did not like something.
So those that have complained about the audio, what you may be hearing in the background is the translator for Michelle Troconis. So everything the judge says has to go through a translator into the ears of Michelle Troconis.
Yeah, that's why she's got those little headphones on. You can hear the translator like vaguely in the background.
Essentially use a colander.
I'm with you, EGR. And by the way, thank you for that comment. And don't let anything stop you from going to law school. Like you're not born with thick skin, you grow it. So do it.
The discussion of Porter is going to take up too much time right now. The jury is out. However, the state's witness is probably not going to be done today. We still have a half hour. So what the court would prefer to do is take up the next witness tomorrow morning. Take up the.
Did I say 4? Am I going to be the closest?
That's fine with the state judge. I'll just note that what we're probably going to do.
We're at 4:10 right now. The
representative from the laboratory to come tomorrow.
If it passes 4:15, then you're going to be the closest, right? 4:30.
What's the lineup for tomorrow is probably going to be.
Yeah, I said 4:30, 4:45.
After Ms. Almeida.
We have Detective Tom Patton. But I don't anticipate his testimony is going to be terribly long. But Ms. Almeida may take a substantial portion of the day.
Thank you. So we'll start now with Ms. Almeida.
Oh, here we go.
Question, Your
Oh,
Honor.
I may still be the winner.
Or he's going to let us.
Here we go.
Marital discord.
What was your time, Jay Bird?
4:45.
Worry about the limited nature of that testimony, and specifically in light of the fact that it's only, well, it's
They might
relevant.
really get going. It might be all the way to 5 o'clock on the dot. We might have a full court day today.
Wow. That would be amazing.
Yeah, she understands perfectly, Nancy Moon. And there's a video. There's people that were in the garage with her at court in Stanford when this first started, and they were speaking to her in full fluent English, and she was speaking back in full fluent English. She checked in on Google Maps. We have that, and she was typing all of those check-ins in English. She's playing a game, and she's got to give her something. She's got persistent since the start with this whole language translation thing, probably on advice of her lawyer, right?
Of course. You know, and look, I mean, she may be fluent, but you know, we always had the issue because we live in an area with a lot of Spanish speaking people, and we had a lot of Spanish speaking clients. And, you know, being able to speak in like common tongue is vastly different than understanding legal principles. That's kind of where you really need that translator in there in order to have them be able to not only translate the language, but to be able to explain, because some words just don't translate. You know, from like the legal dictionary, there's a lot of words that don't have the equivalent in whatever language, especially Spanish, which I believe that's what she's speaking.
You're on the state calls Lauren Almeida.
Hopefully that answered your question there, Janet. Fluent in English doesn't mean that you can understand what, like, I have English first clients all the time that tell me I have no idea what you guys just said in there. It's kind of what I'm
That
good
makes
at.
sense too, because yeah, it's not everyday language in the courtroom. So that
right.
does
It's
make
like
sense.
one of my great strengths is I transfer. Oh, what a sweet, sweet girl you are. It's my 17-year-old. I love you. Thank you. She brought me an iced coffee. What a kid. What a treat.
What a good
God.
kid.
My God. That was like the most wonderful thing, like in the last 5 days.
Is a very close friend of the family, the family's protector of the kids, protector of Jennifer Dulos from the Farber side of things, still has a relationship with that family. She was very, very close with the Dulos children, very, very close with Jennifer.
Good afternoon, Ms. Almeida.
Wow. She's quite lovely.
How old are you?
Not that that matters. I was just making a simple observation, you know.
Wilmington, Connecticut.
Jay
She's
and I
good.
know we always
She's
have,
going to be likable by the jury for sure.
yeah, she's attractive.
Love kids.
I mean, when Jay and I are on, it's like all our female viewers like always love the hot cops.
Lincoln High School.
They sure do.
Hot cop, hot cop.
High school.
I'm like, Jay, when do we get to talk about like hot judges? Like the judge from
University of
she's so beautiful. The judge from who's the guy who went pro se?
Brooke,
Crazy
Brooke, you took Darrow. You're talking about Judge Darrow, right?
Judge Darrow. Oh, what a
Oh, I
what a-
liked her. Yeah, she
what
was.
a beauty.
She's
What a
gorgeous.
beauty.
And you mentioned that you currently live with the Dulos children.
And the patience of a saint too.
Oh my God.
It-
Well, I watched a little bit of the Treehouse dude who's going pro se,
24, 2019.
and I jumped on to, I don't know whose stream it was, but somebody's like, oh, you should check this guy out. He's doing a good job. I'm like, yeah, well, wait till he has to try to get evidence in. Brutal.
I named them starting in September of 2012.
Lauren Almeida was listed on the 4-group roster as an employee in 2014. She left with Jennifer Dulos in 2017 when Jennifer ran away with the kids in New Canaan during the divorce.
Where was Mr. Dulos originally from?
Greece.
Did he speak English?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Did he speak
That's
with
what
an
I'm
accent?
talking about.
Where was Jennifer Dulos originally from?
New York.
So she was their nanny from 2012. She was pretty much there
Did the,
when the kids were born. So just like a second mom, like help raise them.
and what are the children's names?
I know
Petros.
as far as the technology side, she was on the 4-group in
Kelly.
2014. So yeah, I think she played a dual role there. She was I can't emphasize how close she was, which is why I clarified earlier. People on other streams calling her their cleaner, the babysitter. This was a nanny that was very, very close to Jennifer. So close that within hours she noted something's off here, and something was off.
Christiana,
15.
15. Are they twins?
Yeah.
So the Duloses had 2 sets of twins?
Yep, 2 sets.
And when you met them in September of 2012, what was their respective age range?
Noelle just turned 1, I believe. Krishana and Constantine were 4, just turned 4, and Petros and Theodore 6.
Thanks, Erica.
Dulos family in 2012.
I worked at a daycare center
Sure,
for
Erica.
a few years, and someone that I used to also babysit outside of the daycare told me that she knew someone that needed help.
Well, the question is.
When I say ran away, she left Photos Dulos in Farmington at Jefferson Crossing and went and made a life in New Canaan, to clarify.
This is preliminary. So overruled.
You did mention that you worked at a daycare center, which you just.
Defense Diaries mentioned this last week, right? Don't ask questions in which you don't know the answer to, and it sort of mirrors what's up on the screen here.
First rule, cross-examination. Never, ever ask a question you don't know what their answer is going to be.
And was your sister also a babysitter?
Yeah.
What's your sister's name?
Ashley,
When did you first actually begin babysitting for the Dulos family?
it was September of 2012. I don't know the exact date.
How often would you babysit?
Good job, Eva.
In September of 2012.
It started off just like a Saturday or a Sunday. Like I would usually work Saturday, my sister would usually work Sunday, or we would swap. And then over time, I started to work more and more for them.
Were you and your sister the only babysitters for the Dulos family?
No,
You mentioned that you would work a Saturday or Sunday. What were your typical hours at that point?
it varied, but usually like early morning, like 6 a.m. sometimes, because Noah would wake up early, and I wouldn't leave until like sometimes 9 or 10.
Were you still attending school when you first began babysitting for the Dulos family?
Yeah, I was in my final year.
What types of activities would you do with the children while you were babysitting with them?
We did a lot of puzzles, magnet tiles, and games. Board games was a lot. They like to play pretend and dress up. They also water skied, so we would spend a lot of time doing that.
And would you actually go water ski with them?
Yeah.
What did Mr. Dulos do for work when you first met the family?
He owned his construction business.
What was the name of the company?
Ford Group.
And you mentioned that it was a construction company. What type of construction?
He was building luxury homes.
Where was the office for Ford Group located?
It was in Fort Jefferson Crossing. It's in their home.
Whereabouts in their home?
It was like right above the garage. They had a 2-bay garage, and above that was a space for the office.
What did Jennifer do for work when you met the family?
I knew she was a writer, but I didn't really know much more than that.
Were Mr. Fotis Dulos and Jennifer Dulos ever home while you babysat?
Yeah,
How often would you say they were home when you were babysitting?
most of the time.
How would you describe the dynamic of the Dulos marriage when you met them in 2012?
I mean, I tried not to judge, but he was gone a lot. But I just figured that was just kind of what it was in their house. But overall, when I first started working for them, they seemed to get along just fine.
And how did they act towards one another?
In the beginning, they were nice towards each other. I mean, from what I saw, at least in the beginning.
Sorry, missed that?
From what I saw, at least in the beginning.
This is the family home where the 5 kids, Jennifer Dulos and Photos, lived in before Jennifer moved to New Canaan.
Wow. What a spot. Jay, is that what your crib looks like?
Yeah, my crib fits in the garage.
So,
But I was thinking, like, if you know how like some of the streamers have like a hype house, like we got to get one for like all like the true crime creators. We get like a little hype house like that where we're all in like different rooms streaming.
Count me in. Count me in.
And I didn't really have a job in place yet. And Jennifer offered me a full-time position with the kids.
And what days of the week were you, well, I guess I should ask a preliminary question, which is, did you accept the job?
Yes.
And at that
That is
point,
a banging house, man. Damn.
You're a nanny for the children.
I guess I became.
And even the other house before that, Mountain Spring, which is 7 minutes away from that house, is where police allege he cleaned up the crime scene. Is beautiful. I mean, right across from the Manaforts. These are high-end houses, which is what she was alluding to. The Four Group, they made luxury homes.
Man,
I think it was like Monday through Saturday, so I always worked a weekend day.
all with Miss Farber's money.
So I wouldn't go in until like maybe like 11.
Yeah.
When you say half a day, you're referring to the weekend day?
No, the weekend day was like a full day.
What's up, Phil?
So during the week while the
Toya
kids
was in the crib.
to show up like as early as I would on the weekend.
And what was a typical work day for you as the nanny?
Well, the younger ones, just like, helping feed them or helping Jennifer if they had like certain activities that day. Just playing with them, keeping them busy, playing outside, giving them baths. I would help with dinner, help with like cleaning up after them.
During this time period, did you ever go on vacation with the family?
Yes.
Where did you go on vacation with the family?
All the places.
Yes.
So I've gone to St. Bart's with them.
All the places?
Florida. I've been to Greece a few times. I went to Virginia once with Fotis. We went to Colorado.
Did both Jennifer and
Uh-oh.
on these vacations?
Not all of them.
Spaghetti?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I mean, all the photos we have of Fotis Dulos is always around pretty women, and here's a pretty woman that was hanging out with them. I'm wondering if the defense will try to see if there was ever a relationship there with Fotis, because
I mean, I hate to admit,
if I'm asking, probably other people. Yeah.
that was the first thing I thought when I saw her. I'm like, oh, you telling me that turd wasn't like all over her? Like, no way.
They were younger.
These were questions I wasn't allowed to ask in 2020 when I was in the Facebook groups of the Karens. They would all, any question about this woman, I'd get toasted and roasted.
Just like flame thrown.
Did whatever Fotis asked them to do.
Well, it's very possible that early on she just thought he was a complete creep. And I mean, her going with Jennifer when she left in 2017, that kind of shows you where her allegiance is.
You could tell.
I mean, like him, like being a lech and like macking on her is no reflection on her. You know what I mean?
Relationship with the kids. They always wanted to be next to mommy. It was just kind of what it was. And she would sing to them and laugh at them. And she never raised her voice. So he was like,
If anyone is interested in reading Jennifer's writing, again, this is the same year that Jennifer hired Lauren, right? 2012. Jennifer's writing is up from 2012 on nerdbird.media. So what Lauren Almeida is testifying to here is what Jennifer wrote. And I've said that, and I'll keep saying it. These children were Jennifer's lives. End of story. She loved Fotis, and you could read that in her writing, but she wasn't tolerating any bullshit that would jeopardize her children's lives. And she felt he was jeopardizing that with obviously a mistress, but also pushing them with the water skiing sports and into stuff that they didn't want to do. So
they water skied.
This is direct examination, correct?
Water ski?
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
This is the state. The state is. Yeah. Okay.
yes.
And as you worked full-time for the Dulos family, did you begin to develop a friendship with Jennifer?
Yeah.
We're not lawyers here, so when you say direct, I'm thinking she could see the guy asking questions, so it seems pretty direct to me.
I knew what you meant, Bob.
Thanks, Eva. Yeah, I mean, sometimes if they anticipate that the defense is going to bring up things like that, what we were just discussing, they'll front it. You know what I mean? It's like it's the right move. If you anticipate on cross, they're going to be coming at your witness with certain things that could be construed the wrong way. You know, you front it on direct. So, like, if he touches upon that stuff, it's certainly not him coming after her. It's him trying to get ahead of it before the defense comes on to tamper it down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What year did you pass away?
That makes sense. Yeah, it seems like a good strategy too. I'm gonna lay it all out before you can.
Exactly.
Is Gloria still alive?
Yeah.
How old is Gloria?
No, I think she's 88 or 89, but I don't want to get that
positive.
wrong. But she's great.
Did there come a point in time when Jennifer began confiding in you things about her relationship with Mr. Dulos?
Yeah.
Did Jennifer ever express to you her feelings on whether Mr. Dulos was paying enough attention to her?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Did Jennifer ever express to you a desire to avoid arguing with Mr. Dulos?
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Yeah.
So someone in the chat was asking whose channel to subscribe to. So we got Defense Diaries up the left. We got The Shaming of Jay, and Nerdy Addict is where the beautiful Eva is located, right by my side. We're coming through you on two different screens, but she's literally on the other side of the computer in our little studio here. If you could hit like on all three videos, if you could subscribe to all of us, that would be appreciated. We are going to continue covering this trial throughout the duration. And honestly, I'm very grateful to have the expertise of Bob on here, the humor of Jay, and feedback, obviously, from everyone. And joining these chats is really cool, and being able to get everybody together like this virtually is super neat. So thank you.
Well, thanks for having us, man. Really appreciate it.
Oh, 100%. And if you guys aren't familiar with this case, Nerdy is the resident expert on it. And I didn't know like a vast majority about it until after I got off the stream with Nerdy, and then I started digging. This case is insane. The amount of players in this case. Like, Jay, are you familiar with everything that's going on in this case?
Yeah, I listened to a podcast recently. It's wild.
It's unbelievable.
The other attorney who's also on conspiracy. I mean, it's
so my followers are my subs. This is where you need to be to watch this trial, and this trial is going to be a thing. Like you're not going to believe it's going to be like one thing after another. It's like talk about peeling an onion and the layers. It's like the whole
there's
thing
so many layers to it.
Oh, with the lawyer, like I couldn't believe it. Like it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable case. This shit, you just can't write it. It's stranger than fiction, man.
By the way, Nerdy, talk about your timeline too. He has an amazing timeline on that website that you put together. It's awesome.
Easy to do that, but usually
I simply posted that timeline. People that are inside the courtroom and people that have followed this case very closely have provided and contributed to that timeline. So yeah, I'm reminded how much time has gone by, right? Like I'm off on a couple hours on the morning of and stuff like that. This case is so large. We were trying to explain earlier that what happened, the pandemic hit, right when this was viral, like the Idaho 4 case, and the pandemic hit. But when people phased away, laws changed in Connecticut because of this case. Jennifer's law went into effect. That's named after Jennifer Dulos, and that law was really around domestic violence, coercive control. Right, a lot of what we saw in the family court filings was coercive control, and that law came into effect because of the loss of Jennifer Dulos. So this is a huge case for both Connecticut and I think nationally and internationally. You have people you'll see in the analytics watching from Greece. A lot of photos. The Dulos family is from there. Yeah, this is a big case.
Man.
Was there a telephone number that was associated with the group?
Yeah, it was Fotis's personal phone number.
When you say his personal phone number, are we talking about a landline or a cellular phone?
No, like a cellular.
Landline.
You often see Mr.
1974.
So Michelle bonded out pretty quickly on both charges. So she was originally charged with tampering with evidence and then conspiring to murder. She bonded out. They put her on a GPS anklet. She had that GPS anklet taken off April of last year. So she's been walking around free without any GPS monitoring.
Ooh, that's a good question, Janet.
I've speculated that she will, but I don't know that she can if she's claiming innocence, right? That would come from a place of defense diaries. I don't know if she can. I mean, she's not saying she even participated in this, so how could she cling to a defense of, well, he abused me and this is why I did it, right?
Well, I mean, if that becomes an admission, I mean, she could. I think that she could testify that he was abusive to her as well, but still maintain the fact that she didn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I would basically, because the kids wouldn't.
But yeah, she can't use it as an excuse because then she's just made an admission.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys? What have you taken a poll? Who thinks she's going to testify? What are the numbers on that? Have you done a poll yet?
No, we need to do
Not
that's great, actually.
Yeah, do a poll.
Give me a second. I'll get that going.
More specific for the members.
Yes, I would, I guess we have to count. I would say like 5 or 6, maybe.
Was Pavel Gumiani one of the employees?
Yep.
What was his role with, actually, before I ask that, when did he begin working for Ford Group to your knowledge?
Oh, to my knowledge, I don't know. He was there when I started, even just babysitting before I ever even worked for Ford Group, but I don't know when he started. But
Okay.
and he knew the family for a while. That's all I knew.
So by the time you began working for Ford Group, he was already working for the Ford Group, is that correct?
Yes.
And what was his role with the company?
He was a project manager. He kind of did everything, to be honest.
Did Jennifer know Mr. Gumiani as well?
Yep.
Would he assist her around the house?
Yeah.
How would he assist
Nancy's in the
her?
house. What's up, girl?
He would change out the light bulbs when they went out. He would build, I know he built they had this very beautiful playscape in the backyard. I know he built that. He would even sometimes help pick us up from the airport after a trip.
Did Jennifer ever work for Ford Group?
Not that I know.
You should see the poll up there, guys. You could hit exclamation vote
You mentioned that.
N for no, exclamation vote space Y for yes. So the poll should be up there on the screen. Do you believe Michelle Troconis will take the stand?
When I first started working, he was.
And we will come back to that in a little bit.
He feel comfortable. He was funny. He, was fresh out of college. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and it sounded like I was getting this really great opportunity. Had nothing to do with any.
So that's the correct format there, guys, to vote either exclamation point vote and then N or Y.
And did there come a point in time when the dynamic between Jennifer and Mr. Dulos began to change from when you first met them?
Yeah.
Could you describe how the dynamic changed for the jury?
The big dynamic change was in March of 2017, which is when Jennifer found out about his affair.
Funkarella.
And
The lone yes I've seen so far.
it was totally changed.
No, Dizzy. This is in Chicago.
So
Early and often.
attention now to March of 2000.
Toro, make sure you put that word vote in there in between the exclamation and the no.
And where did y'all go?
The kids had a 2-week break, and so the first week we spent in Aspen, Colorado, and then we flew to Miami for the second week.
Who went on the trip?
The first week was myself, 5 kids, Jennifer Fotis, and his friend Mark Masiello.
And then
You're going to hear a lot about Mark Masiello. He was a financer after Dulos lost his loans from Jennifer Dulos's family. Mark Masiello started loaning him money.
where were the kids going to school at the time?
They were going to Renbrook. It's in Farmington.
Sorry?
It's in Farmington.
Very prestigious school in Farmington.
Where in Colorado did you vacation?
It was Aspen.
And what types of activities did you and the children do while on the trip?
Skied?
Ski. They're very good snow skiers. So they would ski. Noelle, who was younger than
Stupid question.
we kind of would
We
just
swam. We did a lot of swimming in the
A little bit.
mountains.
a little bit. Or whoever was tired, they would basically come back with Jennifer and I, and we would do the hot cocoa stuff. And but they skied a lot.
And how old was Noelle at this point?
6 maybe.
And where did you stay in Aspen?
Jennifer's father won a house through a charity auction, so we stayed there for a week.
It's fucking struggling out here. These people are just fucking winning houses.
What the fuck is
The rich get richer, man. Yeah, he won a house in Aspen.
Did there come a point in time during the trip where Mr. Dulos told the group he had taken the children to an adult club?
Yeah.
Who was present for this conversation?
Myself.
Adult club. What?
How did Jennifer
What?
react on hearing this?
She like,
I told you this culture thing is going to come into
little,
big play here, y'all.
going to a day club. And so she was like, we were both kind of like disgusted, I guess is the word.
And what was Mr. Dulos' demeanor like as he was relaying this information?
I tried to reconcile with my father like 14 years ago. Last time. And he took me to a Mexico bar and there were donkeys there, Bob.
You got to see a donkey show? Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Oof.
About a week.
If y'all don't know what that is, Google it.
You traveled to
Don't do that.
I assume you flew.
We flew, yeah.
And we went to Miami.
So
No,
myself-
but just a few minutes ago when they, well, it was a little while ago when they were talking about Fotis Dulos let the 11-year-old and the 8-year-old drive his Porsche.
Initially we stayed at the W.
You said your dad used to let you drive. You were like, what, 11, 12 years old, just driving the car around?
Yes, I used to take the trash out in a Chevy Spectrum stick shift all by myself in Squire Village was on the other side, and I just drive around the neighborhood. And sometimes he'd let me go to ShopRite.
Oh, yeah. Well, I started driving when I was 5. How about that?
Jesus.
It's a Miami Ski Club.
I can't.
Video Gran Turismo, yeah.
My dad had like a beater Maverick. Remember the Mavericks? Big rusted outdoor. Oof, thing was brutal.
My mom had a Gremlin. It was the biggest
Oh,
piece
the
of shit. ever.
AMC Gremlin. I had a AMC Matador, ugliest car ever made. 3 on the tree. I'd be driving around the city with my buddies, and people would be looking and pointing when we were like 18, laughing at the car. We didn't have that whip, that cool whip. Trying to drive around being cool. People pointing and laughing. Thing was a tank, though. I'll tell you that.
See, this is all normal stuff, though. Our parents let us like drive their beater, and my grandpa did the same thing. He took me and my cousins out to a field and let us like drive his old Jeep, beat up Jeep around. This man let his 11 and 8-year-old drive his Porsche. Like, tell me you have
I'm
too
sure
much
it was
money.
a stick.
Right.
Which-
Took him to a strip club, what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that Jennifer had found out about the affair. You
The
recall this.
Porsche was their beater car.
What did Jennifer say to you about the affair when you were in Miami?
The judge just brought everyone back in line. He's like, this story's getting a little, we're going a little out of parameter here.
She told me she believed that Fotis was having an affair.
Did she say why she believed that?
She just said she had this feeling he's been acting weird, and I didn't really believe her at first.
And when you say you didn't really believe her, what do you mean by that?
At that time, I had a good relationship with Fotis, and I believed him to be an honest guy, and I couldn't imagine him having an affair where there's 5 little kids involved.
So what did you say to her?
I said, no.
Ground.
You can see she's getting a little emotional. Again, emphasize how close she was with this family. His infidelity, you could tell her betrayed her.
Yeah. I mean, 2 sets of twins? Come on, man.
It's an out-of-court statement.
Well, the fact that she didn't even believe it at first, saying I couldn't imagine him doing something like that, that's interesting because that just goes to show how, I mean, manipulative he really was.
She has personal knowledge about what she told you.
I mean, and take that, like that the infidelity part happens all the time, right? Marriages fall apart all the time. When we see this in true crime, all right, so you move on. Like you have 5 kids, you move on, you go get a condo, you downgrade, you have to get rid of the house. Like there's stuff that comes along with it. You don't murder your estranged wife or ex. Like, how many times have we seen this in true crime where, and we're seeing it like even up until recently in December, I was seeing instances of where like these murder suicides, like, oh my wife is leaving me, so I'm going to kill everyone. Like what mindset? Like where are these people living?
Divorced? What the fuck's wrong with people? It's insane to me. I don't know how many times.
Downgrade, you get a condo, you go to strip clubs like every other normal man, and you spiral downwards until you heal. God damn it!
Exactly. This too shall pass. You know, it's like Jesus.
You have about 2 minutes past.
And these idiots always think they're going to get away with it. It's like that's the worst part.
Because you're about to go into other matters that are more significant than just identification. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will conclude today's.
Oh, 443.
Nice time, Jay.
Who's
Nice.
the winner?
Oh, so close. So
Nailed
close.
it.
Who had 445?
This guy.
Jaded.
The bird coming through. I mean,
I knew this man was punctual. I knew it.
as long as he was under, because like with the Price is Right, if you went $1 over, you're done, son. But you came
It's
in
true.
2 minutes early, so you good. You good.
This has been a fun one. I'm going to take some time, 10 minutes here at the end, since we have Defense Diaries for questions. We want to spin that wheel, right? We got the wheel. We already gave away a T-shirt to someone who got the True Crime House, right? And I want to take a look at this poll and see where we are with this poll.
I won a mouse pad the other day. I'm very excited, and
I saw the sketch. I saw the sketch up of it.
Even didn't tell
It's
me.
exciting.
So I want to
All
be
right.
surprised. So
All
she's
right.
like, she
All right.
special made one. So I'm excited.
Yeah, she did.
I'll
You're
come
gonna love
on
it.
and I'll do the big reveal when I get it.
Okay.
All right, so we got the spinny wheel up. What do we? How we're gonna do it? I'll let you guys decide today. Like I've worked. We've done the streams. You guys pick who's gonna get a spin, and it can be from people from your channels. We're happy to give some Nerdbird merch away to your members as well.
Let's
so
see. So who won Friday? I think did Dizzy win something? I thought did we have Diz?
Yeah,
go?
Dizzy won. Actually, I have it right
I
here.
mean, I think Jay and I would both probably say that Mandy. I like Mandy.
Yeah, let's go.
Man,
I think we should do a mod. We should do a mod spin only.
Yeah,
Like
well,
let's give our
Mandy
mod
is-
some love.
Mandy's one of our mutual mods, and we both
Perfect.
love her.
Perfect. And we're gonna pick a mod from our side. I'll let Eva pick a mod from our side.
Yeah, Mandy's my choice.
All right, Mandy's the first spin up.
If she wins a T-shirt, you got to make one with just 1,000,000 M's on it.
This is the moment that I wait. This is the reason I do live streams is simply because of this spinny wheel. I love this thing.
I mean, it's amazing.
A mouse pad. I got a mouse pad. So hey, listen, I have a mouse pad. I'm using it. We're making a mouse pad for Defense Diaries. Don't knock them. You can customize yours on the mouse pad. I think that's easy enough. Or pick a design that we have. And then we're going to give a spin to who? What do we have? Music going on? Oh, that's from their side. Hold on, guys. What the hell is going on? Oh, yeah.
See,
Yeah, so YouTube
Mandy
continue.
almost bought a mouse pad at Target last night. Target.
Always so giving.
We
Okay.
got you, Mandy.
All right, so we'll get back to the games. Transition over. All right, who's spinning, Eva?
Irina.
All right, Irina.
All right.
I may hand deliver this one to Irina because it's warmer down south, so I may take a spin down there.
Bum, 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 bum,
Bum, bum, bum,
bum,
bum, bum.
bum.
All right, Irina. I'm hoping it's.
Ooh, what is that little
hoping
red
it's
sliver there? What's
Oh,
that?
we got a T-shirt. Pick your T-shirt, Irina.
Yeah, the big.
Don't tell me no.
one.
There's people from our side that are like, I won, but I don't want it. No, Irina, you pick your design. I'm gonna hand deliver that T-shirt to you.
What's the
and then-
little maroon sliver? I can't read it.
That's a special design.
It says new design.
New design. It's a.
Did y'all pull the hoodie off? Where's the hoodie?
Where is the hoodie? No, it's there. It's in the bright
It's
pink.
the pink. Yeah.
Oh, the fuchsia, the little fuchsia sliver there.
Yeah. So we appreciate everyone joining in. This was really fun actually today. We will keep you all posted for further streams for tomorrow. This is the first time. So we streamed over to Facebook, to X, to 2 streams, to both Bob's stream, to Jay's stream. This last stream was brought over to TikTok. And all while we have the kids, all while working and juggling some stuff. So this is the first time we've been this busy with the stream. So we appreciate everyone's love. We appreciate the super chats that came in for our channel, for Jay's channel, for Defense. anything that came through. We are super appreciative, and we will continue covering this the way we've been covering it since last week. So I'll let everyone else say their goodbyes, but be kind to each other, y'all. Love y'all. If there's questions out there, are there questions out there? See everyone sort of just rowdied up. Today feels like a Monday. It's a Tuesday. But if there are questions there, yeah, exactly. If there are questions out there, we'll get to them tomorrow, the next day. Thank you very much, Defense Diaries, for dropping everything on your plate and hopping on. Jay, same to you, man. Everyone stay kind to each other. Stay facing the light. I love y'all.
Thank you, man. Thanks so much for inviting us. And mods all day. You guys have been crushing it. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone, for all your support. You guys are amazing as always.
Yeah, and anytime I get to hang with my brother from another mother, Jay Bird, man, I'm all in, and I love, I love Eva and Nerdy. So, and like I said, y'all, anybody from my channel that's not subbed to, like, I'm assuming you're all subbed to Jay, otherwise you're insane. But if you haven't subbed to Eva and Nerdy's channel, now's the time. I'm just telling you, they're going to crush this trial. No one knows more about this trial than the Nerdy, man. I'm just telling you, in this trial, it's one of those trials that's got it all. It's like what a tangled web we weave type trial. So this is the spot for show. And then y'all,
Twitter too. Yeah. We're all on Twitter.
We're all on Twitter. Yeah, I'm Defense. Yeah, and if y'all hit that again, if you don't know any of my content, just do that QR code, simple, and it brings you the link tree. But the one thing I wanted to, and I wanted to ask you all. So Allie is going to be streaming solo Wednesday morning. I know it might conflict, but we got that huge Supreme Court hearing in the Delphi case, which is my case, my baby case that I'm knee deep into. I'll be boots on the ground at the Supreme Court in Indiana. So if y'all can, and it's only, I think it's it'll probably go an hour, so if y'all jump over there, she's going to stream it live. I'll be doing some live reporting, boots on the ground. So if you guys are interested in that Delphi case, that's going to be an epic day. And it's going to be Allie, first time solo. So she's going to need all our people over there to give her moral support. I had her on last night. Like, I had to jump off, man. She's like, I can't do it. She's like muting it, screaming up at me. I don't know what to say. I'm like, you're fine. You're fine. I was having, of course, technical difficulties trying to figure out why we weren't on screen or something I screwed up, so yeah, make sure you check that out on the 18th. That's the 18th, I think at 11. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe this trial is taking a break and maybe people could jump over there. But I hope you all check that out. It's going to be
I'll definitely be watching. I think everybody is really invested in that one too, but that's going to be a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's like, to me, it's like, it's such a crazy day. Plus I think on that day they're having Karen Reed hearing that day as well. So that's another, man, the hits just keep on coming. You know what I mean? Like, we got so many cases going. It's quite a time to be in true crime, right, people? Man.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be an interesting couple of months for sure.
For sure. All right. Well, I adore you guys. Thank you so much for letting me jump on with y'all. I love hanging with you, and I'm sure I'll be
always love having you guys. I want to get you both back on here. This case, like you said, Bob, is going to pick up and get really interesting. So
yeah, I thought today's testimony was like, we're just getting into the beginning of it. It's all going to be super compelling stuff. And, it's a no body case, in case you all don't know. They've never recovered Jennifer's body. She was declared deceased, but they don't have a body. So that makes it challenging. It's going to be a fascinating circumstantial case. So y'all should really be digging in, and this is the spot to do it. So I love you all. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you guys for hanging with us, and mods, as always, you're the best in the business. You know it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good one, everybody.
Thanks,
Rest
everybody.
up. It's another long day of court tomorrow. Good night, guys.
Good night. Take care.